All righty. All right, let's go live here. Hopefully everything's may have to blow my nose. I'm gonna step off. Oh Lordy. Hey Jamie. Still fighting. Still fighting some of this cold and everything. As you hear, I'm still trying to get over this thing. I'm still lingering on with COVID or whatever the effects of all this was. It's still a mess. Taking the cough drops and sorry guys, I just I was doing good till I about got set up and everything, and then I went into coughing and everything. I had to get the wife to run me some cough drops up. Hey Aaron. But we're at that time of the season and everything where we got hay fever and everything else, along with whatever sickness we got left over. And y'all can bear with me on mine. We'll be all right. It's about gone. It's just lingering. I got lingering effects of this stuff, which is aggravating as crap. Hey there, Patrick. I'm hanging in there and trying to make the best of it. Well, the weather's kind of funky. We've had real good weather down here until these past few weeks. Now we got cold spells coming in. It's down. It got down into the 30s last night. Supposed to get down into the 20s, I think, a couple nights. But then it's going to go back up. It's going to be up and down here. But it's a clear day today. As you can tell, the sun's coming through. The sun's coming through on me right now through my window at a little bit different angle because of the fact that daylight saving time is taking over, and so it's kind of come in at a different angle than it usually does, and it's got it pretty bright here in my room. I had to cut the shutters back over in the big room because it was coming in really, really bright. And the angle, like I said, the angle that it's coming in at is a little bit different because of daylight saving time and that sort of stuff. And excuse my coughing, guys. I'm trying my best, but like I said, everybody gets it like this sometimes. I think when you get a cold and it's almost completely finished, and then that last little bit just won't go away, and that's what I've got. I've got the last little bits of this chest cold I had when I had COVID and everything else, and and the last little bit of it still lingers on. Yeah, it's tough, Aaron, and it just enough to aggravate you. And I've had to take the cough drops and keep some liquids and all kind of stuff just so I don't run out of breath. Well, what's going on with y'all guys? I'm last week I went down to the Ryobi sale down in Greenville, around Greenville, South Carolina, Anderson, and got some great deals on some stuff. And I've got to show that maybe what I got. It was real interesting. Excuse me again, guys. I wish I could just take a brush or something and clean it all out, but I can't. It's one of those things that, you know, it lingers on, and you it just enough to aggravate you and everything else. But I do the best I can with it, and try to get out and about and get some exercise and working hard and running hard. Well, that's good, Aaron. That's good. I hope the economy stays up good enough for most people to keep a good job. But I'm a little bit worried about the economy. I'm seeing signs. I'm seeing signs that are slowing down, and you know, with this inflation sort of catching up with us, I'm afraid. And these politicians that have ridden on the coattails of all this money they pumped in there, we're feeling the effects of it right now. Hey, Joey. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what Donald does. They're talking about, well, even he said that he'll probably be arrested on Tuesday with that Stormy Daniels stuff. I don't know what to think about that. It's they're trying to do something to keep him out of the. They're afraid of him. Everybody's afraid of him on the left. That if he gets enough foothold, he'll be back in there again. So they're trying to do everything hook or crook to keep him out of there. I wish they'd do just as much about Biden. That's exactly right, Joey. I think they'll do anything to make him disappear. And if they can avoid putting him into the spotlight again, that's what they're trying to do. I mean, they're going to do it hook or crook, and you never know. Oh yeah, the governor of New York and the attorney general, that lady that's attorney general up there, she definitely, I mean, she said it flat out that she wanted to get Donald Trump. That was one of her main things. Oh, I know it. There's plenty of them. Hey, Jerome, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're just sitting back here talking about the weather and the politics of today a little bit, and all kind of stuff. I tell you, everybody ought to go watch on Netflix if they want to go watch Chris Rock. My wife and I watched, other than the foul language and everything. I mean, of course, you can kind of blend over that a little bit. But he's got a real good Netflix that he's got. I mean, it says it like it is too. He kind of takes on the woke society and everything. You know how crazy woke that America has gotten in the past 2 or 3 years, especially since Biden went in. All these crazy people, and Chris Rock kind of spelled it out plain and simple, the way it should be. And that's kind of the way I want the world to get back to. Oh, I know it. They're afraid to death, Joey, that he's going to get back in office and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I got tickled at Chris Rock. He was talking about. He said, "Yeah, those Republicans, they lie," and he said, "And those Democrats, they forget to tell the truth all the time." I mean, he just the way he kind of spelled it out, it was funny. I mean, he was admitting that neither side are telling the truth, and that is the way it is. I mean, these politicians are crooked. I mean, you got the hawks on the Republican side that are blending in with the Democrats on the left side. on this war in Ukraine, which is crazy. I mean, we're spending money that we shouldn't be spending over there, while our economy is tanking over here, with all these banks and everything else, all these SVB Bank and what was the other one? Um, I can't even think of what the second one was, but the we got to protect our own interest over here, and instead of worrying about everything overseas. I mean, that's our that's our industrial war complex people that are trying to get that going, and it aggravates me. I mean, if you think about it, they've wanted to build war machines since the 30s. I mean, that's how long this industrial war complex has been going on. when FDR geared up everybody to build aircraft and jeeps and everything else, he built an infrastructure. They built an infrastructure way back then that too many people liked, and they wanted to keep a war constantly going. And you think about it, we went from World War II, and there wasn't but just a few years a lag time, and we were right into the Korean conflict. And then the Korean conflict went for several years, and then it lingered on, and then we ended up into the Vietnam conflict, and then from Vietnam straight on up the Gulf War. I mean, there's been very few years that the military hasn't just overwhelmed the budget of the United States. I mean, you think about it. I mean, they've created all kind of jobs at Lockheed Martin and all these other big war machines. I mean, it's pathetic. It is pathetic. And then when we pulled out of Afghanistan, the war machine just got panicked because they didn't have any way to sell product. I mean, they left millions of dollars worth of equipment over in Afghanistan, millions. Didn't even try to bring it back, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life. They should have flown those planes out of there. They should have moved everything out of there as best they could. And instead, General Milley said, "Oh, no, just leave it." Yeah, just leave, $90 million worth of equipment that we should be. Hey, why don't we just drive it on up to Ukraine and say, "Here, y'all have this in case you have a war." I mean, that's how stupid it was. And now we're trying to ramp up and keep everything in full production to keep that war going. It's crazy. Yeah, you need to move down to the Carolinas, Jerome. It's pretty warm down here. I mean, like I said, it got down into the 30s last night. I mean, we definitely don't have Ohio and Pennsylvania's temperatures. We're doing way better than that. But I'm ready for spring to get here. I mean, I've already been outside a little bit working on things. I've been working on I've got my flail mower that we've had out, and we've been working with it, trying to get a lot of underbrush and everything in my woods cleaned up. I'm gonna have to show you some videos. Guys, I hope y'all can put up with this coughing and everything. I do apologize for all this because I know it probably is not the best to listen to. Yeah, I mean, that's basically the way it's going to be, Jamie. I mean, it's from one thing to another. Oh, it's green in Texas. Well, that's good. That's good. I couldn't. I was looking at somebody podcast the other day, and they were doing something out, and there was in Oklahoma. And I told my wife, I said, "See that tree line?" I said, "That is the tallest trees you'll see out in Oklahoma." I said, "It's not like out here in North Carolina where you see these trees that are 100 foot tall and everything. In Oklahoma, you see those trees and they get up about 20, 30 feet, and that's about max." I said, "It's a whole different tree line out there." I said, "I never saw a big tree anytime that I've been in Oklahoma." But that's life. I liked all the different terrains and everything. I guess I'm partial to what we have here in North Carolina. I mean, I love the terrain. I love, the beaches and the trees and the Piedmont section and the mountain section. Uh, I love what we got and the differences we have here in North and South Carolina, and it is what it is. But I'm glad to see the weather changing some. I can't wait for it to be fully spring and be able to get out and have shirt sleeve weather like this, where I can just wear a short sleeve shirt outside. I wear a short sleeve shirt around a lot, and then just put a jacket on right now. But it'll be nice to be able to get outside and just be in short sleeve weather all the time. And that's the neat stuff about the Carolinas. I mean, we'll get some good weather in a short while, and we won't have to worry about inclement weather as bad as some places do. I mean, I'm glad there's been no snow here at all. I'm looking at some of the channels in New York, and Joey probably has to deal with this. I know he does. Joey has put up some pictures on his Facebook and shot me some pictures that the of the snow and the mess he's had to deal with. I'll let Joey handle that. I don't want to mess with that. I don't want any snow down here, especially now that we're at the end of March. I mean, we're almost springtime. I think is it tomorrow that's officially spring. It's either tomorrow or Tuesday that's the official day of spring. All you guys that are into that, just post that if you can, because I can't remember when the spring equinox is. It's either tomorrow or Tuesday, I think. Oh, I know it. Flat as it can be out there, isn't it, Jamie? And like I said, when you get out to Oklahoma, I remember the first time I was out in Oklahoma, I was at a truck stop. It was windy. And I asked the guy out there, I said, "Good gracious, when do you think this wind's going to die down?" And he looked straight at me and he says, "Never." Because that wind always seems to blow out there in Oklahoma. I mean, it's like a constant wind all the time. I haven't lived out there long enough to know if it quiets down any, but boy, that is a windy. They talk about Chicago being the windy city. I think Oklahoma's the windy state. I mean, it is constantly windy out there, it seems like. I'll have to check that out, Aaron. So you post your trips, your photos of your trips in your truck. Well, that's good. I'm Facebook friends with several of y'all guys, and the ones that link to me and everything. So I catch that. And yeah, Aaron, mine's Michael S. Jones. You can go on there and see me. It'll show a picture of me. This Michael S. Jones, and in Cherryville, North Carolina. type that in, and you can probably get me and link to me and put me a friend request, and I'll link back to you if you can, and I'll do that when I get off. But yeah, I check out Facebook and everything. I just mainly have my friends on there. I don't do a lot of the other junk. There's so much junk on there. They really try to they push a lot of ads and everything, and you'll see it sponsored by, and I really don't want to look at all their sponsored videos and sponsored things they try to push on Facebook. I just want to see what my friends are doing. I mean, that to me, that's what that program was designed for. But I guess they're trying to sell ads and everything, so that's why they keep pushing all these sponsored sites and everything. And they put something that they almost tell a lie, or they do. A lot of times they'll put these little links on the side, and it'll have a dramatic type thing. Did you know that so and so did this? And they'll show a picture of almost something weird, and you go, "What in the heck is that about?" And then you click on it. It's clickbait for sure. And I'm not a fan of that clickbait stuff that Facebook puts out there. But it is what it is. I guess that's how they pay their. I guess that's how they pay for their program and everything. They get you to click on these crazy ads, and some of it's, I mean, some of it's so unreadable. It's what really drives me crazy. You click on something on Facebook, and then it pops up 8 or 10 ads, and you can't even see the article that you're trying to read, and you have to sit there and click off the ads. I'm thinking, why do you want to do that? I mean, it just drives me crazy. But that's the society we live in, isn't it? I mean, everybody's got something to sell. Everybody's got something that they want you to check on them. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Do that. You think you found me? Okay. I'll check and see. I'll check and see when I get off. If I'll be looking for Aaron. I'll be looking for Aaron's name there. If that's, and I'll click on it and link to you. Yeah, well, I am too. I'm that way too. I don't post a lot on Facebook. I sometimes post. I post a lot of back when my grandson was doing soccer and a few things like that. I would post more of his soccer stuff, and we post family pictures of my wife and her sisters and stuff, like family reunions and some class reunions and stuff like that. That's what I've got on Facebook mainly. I don't post a ton of stuff on there. I more or less just read the current local news on there. It's what I do. We've got some local news that gets posted up there, and I try to keep up with that. And that's sort of what I use it more for, that than anything. And I don't use it for the current event stuff. I don't really use it that much for. I mean, it's more interesting to see the local. I sort of, when I want to see current events, I go on to YouTube or some of the other sites. I don't use a lot. YouTube's probably my primary source for a lot of stuff. I don't. I mean, I get Reddit and a few of these others, but YouTube seems to suit my field a lot better than a lot of them because of the fact that I can skim through it and see what I want. Now I get on Twitter a little bit, but I'm not a huge Twitter fan. I mean, some people lived by Twitter at back in the day, and I actually was an early adopter of Twitter. I mean, I did it years ago when I first started driving. Well, I mean, when it was first available, and I was still driving the tractor trailer because I could get traffic updates, and I thought it was pretty cool. And like the state of Virginia would put Twitter sites up and alerts at different places that maybe had an accident or something like that. But I would get on Twitter for that, and then I kind of let it die away and didn't mess with it much till lately. I've watched it a little bit more lately, but I use it to aggregate my news feed and everything, stuff like that. But that's the only way I use it. Yeah, yeah. I go to CNN to get the real news. Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, I don't watch 2 seconds of CNN or MSNBC. I usually see the highlights from Fox, that CNN or MSNBC, the ridiculous stuff that they put up. But no, I'm never I've never been a huge CNN proponent, viewer at all. I mean, back in the day, now when Ted Turner first started it, let me get my seat situated here. Back in the day, Ted Turner first started CNN. It was pretty good because they were actually seeing news. I mean, you see news from all over the United States, all over the world. They had reporters everywhere, and they were really good. They were a news program. But right now, they're just a talking head. I mean, there's somebody in a studio that's talking about a subject like I'm doing right now and getting paid big money for doing it. I mean, heck, I'd get on here and make big money if I could and do that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, I'm not interested in listening to one person's opinion about anything. I mean, heck, y'all probably aren't interested in listening to my one opinion about something. I mean, it can get old real quick, and I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not a fan of CNN or Morning Joe and all this stuff. I see the highlights. I mean, I see Joe Scarborough, who used to be a Republican. I actually think he was a congressman at one time. But he is he's got such a he's been warped to be the talking head for MSNBC and push their narrative, and that's it. I mean, he just completely changed the real way he used to think, to listen to his wife next to him twist his arm and go this way. Not interested. It's really weird. And CNN's, I think with the new owner, I think they're trying to get around to doing the news again, but they're really going to have to change. To me, they need to go back to the Ted Turner model that was actually doing the news. I mean, if there was a train wreck in Pennsylvania or something going on in South Carolina or Montana or somewhere, they would have a reporter on the ground and going with it. Now they just, like I said, they just got people in the studio, and then they'll read you the news and that sort of stuff. And I don't get it. It's not news reporting, not like it used to be. I mean, heck, you got Al Jazeera doing better news reporting than CNN, and I'm not a proponent of Al Jazeera either, but if you had, I guess there's a lot of cost factor involved. I don't know, but when you weigh that against what you're paying these so-called celebrities to get out there and talk, it'd be different. Hey, Walter. Oh, I know it. I don't know. I don't think many people trust the media. The big media, as it is now, It's crazy. I mean, it wasn't that way when we watched David Brinkley or Walter Cronkite, even Dan Rather, and all those. I mean, you got the news. You felt like you were getting the news. You weren't getting you weren't getting a narrative. You were getting the news as it happened. And I don't need to be talked to for somebody to give me their opinion. I mean, they all used to have a little segment of an opinion. I mean, 60 Minutes had Andy Rooney and everything, but even 60 Minutes is not the is not the investigative people that they used to be. I mean, Leslie Stahl gets out there and lies like everything. I mean, they still to this day haven't come back and apologized to Trump for the way she did to Donald Trump. I mean, she tried to twist it around the whole interview that she had with Donald Trump. If you remember right, in the summer before the election, I mean, he was trying to explain what was going on. Well, she said, "Oh, that's not been proven. That's a lie. That's a lie." And then now that it's the truth, and everybody knows it's the truth, and even CBS says that the laptop's true. Well, it's too late now. The FBI had that laptop for over a year and held on to every bit of that information until that information got out because that repairman saw that they weren't doing anything. So he gave it to some other news outlets. And when they tried to report it, then it was disinformation. The FBI had it. They knew it wasn't disinformation. But, I don't know if we'll ever get that or not. Yeah, I like old Jim Cantora, Jamie. I actually met Jim. Jim's a little short guy. He's probably not but about 5'6", 5'7". He's a little short guy. I saw him and talked to him down at the Charlotte Motor Speedway back when he had hair. But he was the Weather Channel was just getting started then, and he was I think he was kind of bouncing around between ESPN and the Weather Channel and a few other things back then. But he was down at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I had press passes then, and me and him and a bunch of other reporters were in the press room, and I got to talk to him a little bit. Like I said, I was a little bit taken back how short he was, but that's the way it goes. But Jim seems to be a pretty. I like his reporting and everything on the Weather Channel, so he seems to be a pretty neat guy. I'm trying to catch up on my reading, backtrack on my reading here. Yeah, I don't. I'd have to be indoctrinated pretty tough to believe CNN and MSNBC. I mean that's that group. I tell you that, especially some of that Joy Reid and between Don Lemon and Joy Reid and some of these other talking heads, Joy Reid has got to be the biggest racist out there, and how she can come up with all her racist remarks and get away with it. I mean, white people we have a race too. I mean, and some of these black commentators, they feel like they can knock the white race down and get away with it. I mean, we're a race too. We can be offended too. And, because I'm a white male does not mean that I can't be offended by what you say on the news. And people like Joy Reid and Don Lemon and some of them feel like they can say anything about the white race and get away with it. And it's no different than if we were to disparage the black race or Hispanic people or anybody else. And I don't like people to talk like that and then feel like that, oh, they get a pass because, well, they're talking about white people. You can get a pass on talking about white people, and it is no different. There's no difference. I mean, you can be a racist. You can be a black person and be a racist by disparaging white people, just as much as we turn the tables and say something bad about black or Hispanics or Chinese or something else. I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair to be treated that way by somebody like Joy Reid, and I just I do not like her as a moderator or a commentator because she is so there's so much bigotry in her voice at all times. I mean, it's pathetic, and it's crazy to me that some of the most hateful sounding people on TV have names of Joy and uh, then I'm trying to think the ones on The View. That's Joy on The View too, isn't it? Uh, Joy Behar. And then what's the other girl on there? Well, you got Whoopi. Yeah, Whoopi. Whoopi. I mean, how can you have happy sounding names and have such a bad attitude? And Sunny, that's the other one, Sunny Hostin. I mean, that girl is so negative, and she was on the air the other day, and I mean, I saw clips of it, talking about she hadn't been to the grocery store in 2 years, but she orders it by some courier or something. She said, but I tip them really good because they don't get paid good. I mean, I'm thinking, yeah, you just want to show that you have wealth and that you can do that, that you're a way up here, and the rest of us common people are down here. Really crazy. Well, NASCAR, I guess NASCAR will survive, but it just, Jamie, but they're getting crazy, finding people for just saying something. I mean, I don't like what they did to Denny Hamlin the other day. I think that was because he admitted something on a podcast. They turned around and fined him $50,000. I really think that they're hurting their product by doing that. No, I don't watch The View either. What I see, Walter, is the highlights, usually from all these other. I mean, I'll watch stuff like Meghan Kelly, and I watch. There's a couple other newscasts on YouTube that I watch, and they'll show clips of that. And that's what I do. I get a lot of those podcasts and everything that I watch, and they usually have clips of stuff in The View. And then Fox News, I watch Fox News at night, and they have funny clips of it. I like to watch The Five. I DVR a lot of stuff. I don't watch much of it live because there's no reason to. So what I do, I DVR The Five and Jesse Walters and then Tucker and then Hannity. And by the time you get to all those, it gets repetitive. So I don't watch too much more of that. I mean, unfortunately, Fox's newscast at night, it's one of them starts off and has a story about something, and all 3 or 4 of them repeat the same story and with their slant. So I get tired of that, and my wife and I we'll skim through it, and I watch like I said, I watch The Five. I like The Five because it's live, and they're going back and forth between each other, and I think that's good. And then I don't stay up to watch Greg Gutfeld, but I tape it, and I put it on my VCR. I got video recorder, and uh, and then I watch it the next day or skim through it and stuff like that. But I don't watch a lot of stuff live because it just takes up too much time. And I use the DVR to skim through things and watch what I want. And I watch more podcasts than anything. I mean, I love YouTube because I can pick up a variety. I mean, somebody, if they want to watch me and my narrative and what I talk about, they can do that. If I want to watch somebody, and nobody is scripting anything that I don't script. I mean, I don't have a big paper out in front of me telling me what to say right now. I usually just take whatever y'all are talking about and what I've got on my mind, and that's what I come off with. I don't go with the script. I don't know if y'all like that or don't like that, and but that's the way I like to roll, and I guess most people that have checked my channel out know that I'm very unscripted because I can go from this subject to another subject, and I just kind of talk about the topics of the day, and hopefully it's entertaining enough and all that sort of stuff, and I watch the screen so I don't get too far off subject. I mean, if y'all are talking about something, I usually try to pick up on it, and and then talk to, reply to the individuals while I'm doing that, like Patrick there. Well, I appreciate it, Patrick. Well, I try to tell it, I tell it like it is. Nothing's sugar coated by me, that's for sure. I don't sugarcoat and put anything out there that I don't feel. I mean, even when I do regular videos, and not like the one I'm doing right now, not like my live one, I put out what I'm doing. I don't try to stage things. I mean, so many of the videos you see, and I usually quit watching the ones on YouTube that are too staged and that are doing things on purpose to get an audience. I mean, that's not. I mean, if I'm doing something on a video, I'm usually doing it sort of live, and I'm usually trying to convey how my life's going or what's going on in our life. I edit it and everything, which is the hardest thing about doing these videos, but I'm trying to get better at that. And if my health gets a little bit better, the weather gets a little bit better, I'm gonna get out and start doing a few more things. I mean, I've got some ideas, and I do things in my shop, and Jim and I both do, that I think may be interesting. At least I'm gonna put them out there and see what kind of interest there is, and do things like that hopefully people will like. Hey Jeff, how are you? How is it out there in Cali? Yeah, it's early morning out there for you, isn't it? 6:45 for you. Yeah. Yeah, I try to like I said, convey what I think people want to see. I mean, it may or may not be, you don't know. I mean, that's the beauty of YouTube, is the fact that if people like it, they're going to click on it. And if they don't like it, they won't click on it, and that sort of stuff. And then every once in a while, I'll get one or two that YouTube will boost me, and it'll really take off. I mean, I've had some that I put out there, and I go, well, that I may not get many hits on that. And then next thing you know, wow, it just goes off like gangbusters. And they put it in their algorithm and shoot it out there to a lot more people. Now, these live broadcasts like we're doing now, they don't do much with these. I mean, uh, you know, I'll get 100 or so hits, but it doesn't get picked up by YouTube to be in their algorithm. I don't know, and I hear a lot of other people to say the same thing, that the live is that way. But I enjoy doing them, so I don't care. I mean, I'm gonna do them every Sunday if I'm able, and try to get some response. Still pretend to be. Yeah, well, that's what it's out here, Jeff. That's what I'm trying to talk about. It's out here. It's still lingering on with winter. I mean, we got the cold days, and I mean cold nights and warm days, but cold nights, and it's just uncomfortable enough that you have to put a jacket on or whatever. I mean, it's not spring yet by any stretch of the imagination. Although spring's supposed to be getting here, like I said, I hadn't. Somebody look that up, see when the spring equinox is. It's either tomorrow or Tuesday, I think. Uh, yeah, I hadn't checked those out. I checked those out, Walter. But yeah, I watch several different ones. Uh, I'm trying to think of the off the top of my head. I can't remember the channel names, but uh, I watch several different ones, and uh, it's I like watching Matt Walsh. He's one. He's big on this gender stuff. I mean, and then the Daily Wire channels. I watch a lot of those. It's on 3/20/23, so it's tomorrow. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's when it's supposed to be, huh? Well, I thought it was. I thought maybe it was. I thought it was on the 20th, but is excuse me, guys. But it is what it is on that. Yeah, I think Matt Walsh is doing us a good thing by protecting children too. I mean, we got so many crazy people out there that are trying to make these children. I mean, I have no problem with a child, if he's gay or whatever, going through school, and when he's 18, then if he decides he wants to change his physical appearance and everything, so be it. He's 18 years old. He's an adult. He can make his own decision. But to start doing something like that to a child for a, I mean, if you got a little boy and he likes to play with dolls, don't change him into a little girl just because he likes to play. Let him mature. Let him develop. I mean, by the time he's 12 or 13, he may want to play little league baseball too. Or if he's not in baseball, maybe he's into something else. He doesn't necessarily have to be turned into a girl. And the same thing with a girl that likes to play baseball, or maybe she's a tom girl, a tomboy. I mean, I know plenty of tomboys that I grew up with that they grew out of being a tomboy when they were younger, a little bit older, and they were beautiful women. And they might have been, a little more skilled and a little more athletic than some of the other girls, but that didn't make them less of a woman. And they didn't, and of course, I know some that were tomboys and they end up being gay, and so be it. I mean, that's, there was a girl that I graduated with. I mean, she was a heck of a baseball player. She could out throw and hit and everything else better than some of us guys. I mean, she was a better baseball player than I was. And I went all through school with her, graduated with her. and she ended up being gay, uh, but that was her choice. Uh, but I would have hated to see somebody try to make her a boy at an early age. I mean, that wouldn't have been right either. But when she became an adult and she wanted to go with gay tendencies, so be it. That was her choice. But just that being said, I know some girls that were tomboys when they were young, and they turned into be beautiful ladies, and they didn't have anything to do. I mean, you wouldn't, as a lady and as an adult, you wouldn't have ever thought that they had tomboyish features when they were young. I mean, it just can develop in different ways. I don't think we need to mess with Mother Nature, as they say. I mean, cutting off girls' breasts and then putting puberty blockers in there for either one of the sexes, and that is bizarre. I mean, you're castrating the kids when they're before they develop. I mean, like I said, and like Matt Walsh has said, and you're going to dig up these people 200 years from now, and archaeologists are going to look at it and they're going to say that was a male and that was a female by their structure, by their bone structure, and you're not going to change that. So it's really bizarre to see what some people are trying to do out there, and I really like to see that changed. Oh, I know it, David. It is. It's disgusting. It really is. Oh, I know it. And yeah, Kaiser Permanente, they need to be sued. And they were even showing Matt Walsh has got a hold of uh, who was it over here? Uh, not Emory University, Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee. They were doing stuff like that. There's a lot of these big corporate hospitals and everything. They're using this as a money making thing. I mean that's all they're doing. I mean they found another way to make money that they weren't making before, and they decided that they're going to do that and do it in the name of I don't know what. I don't know what. I mean, it's disgusting. It's disgusting to see people done like that. But anyway, that's like I said, that's one person I like. I like to watch Matt. I like to watch Matt, and I like to watch Ben Shapiro. I think Ben Shapiro, although Ben Shapiro talks so fast, sometimes I feel like I need to turn a dial down and slow him down because he rattles off so fast. And but I like Ben Shapiro, and then I like I'm trying to think of the other. Well, like I say, Megan Kelly. I like Megan Kelly. She's got a good show. Uh, she she's tough on these liberals. She's tough on the woke society. I mean, she's been done wrong herself, and she understands both sides of these things. Although she's doing well for herself. I mean, Megan Kelly got enough money from Fox and somebody and in NBC too that she's doing well for herself. Well, I trust her more now than I mean. If you listen to her and you go back and I think she's more trustworthy uh, than a lot of them. I mean, you got to take every one of them with a grain of salt. But Megan Kelly's show is pretty good. If you see who she's interviewed and how she comes off, yeah, her and Trump got into it years ago, but right now she has a pretty good show, and there's a couple others out there too. Like I said, I can't Breaking Points or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but they're pretty good. I don't know. She's not so much down on Trump. I mean, you hear her talk. I mean, I don't know if she's a Trump fan, but she's more for Trump than the liberals. That's for certain. I mean, she hates Joe Biden. You can tell that, and the liberals. So she has her point of view there. I mean, she doesn't like the woke society, and that's what I am. I'm more against the woke society than I am anything. And I wish there was a few good Democrats that would vote right. I mean, Joe Manchin out of West Virginia, I keep thinking that he's going to flip and go to be a Republican because his state is 90% Republican, and he may be worried about his chances of getting reelected this time if he's not a Republican. It just depends on who the Republicans are against him or the other people against him this in 2024. But I look for Joe Manchin. He votes a lot of times like a Republican or with the other side, but it's just that when these critical votes need to come up, he still stays with the Democrats, which drives me crazy. And the Democrats try to twist his arm too much. And then Arizona, the girl that's running out there, I don't know who, Kari Lake or one of these others may jump in that Senate race and take over the Republican Party out there. We'll see. I hope Kari Lake hasn't tarnished herself out there in Arizona. I mean, she's a hardliner, but I hope she comes off the right way, and we'll see more of Kari Lake. Oh, man. Well, Trump's going to be in there right now, and then the rest of them coming up. I hope they don't put 20 of them out there like they did a couple years. I mean, if they do, that all that favors Trump 100%. Trump being up here and the rest of them being stacked up down here is the way it goes. And I guess we're all waiting and seeing when and if Ron DeSantis gets into the race. I mean, DeSantis is playing it cool right now, and I think he's on a waiting game right now. He doesn't have to jump in anytime soon. I think Trump would like for him to. I think Trump's over there wanting Ron DeSantis to get into the race so he can fuss it and make fun of Ron DeSantis or try to come up with stuff. I saw the other day some reporter, the best thing they could come up negative against Ron DeSantis was that he had bad table manners, because they were talking about he was on a plane flight going to DC or somewhere, and somebody gave him some pudding, and he used his fingers to eat the pudding. And people said, well, he probably didn't have a spoon. Somebody gave him some pudding, some chocolate pudding, and he didn't have a spoon. But that's the worst. If that's the worst you can come up about somebody, is that he used his fingers to eat some chocolate pudding, I don't think he got much of a case. I mean, Ron DeSantis, I mean, none of us are squeaky clean. I mean, somewhere in our background, we've done something probably. I mean, I know I have. I mean, I wouldn't run for public office. I wouldn't want my dirty laundry to be brought up. I mean, I've not been a mean person, but I just wouldn't want my lifestyle or my life to be blasted out there among everybody. And I wouldn't. And the problem is, you get innuendos that somebody, or half truths somebody will throw out there at you, and then you got to defend it. I wouldn't want that I wouldn't want to be subjected to that. I mean, like I say, I'm a pretty decent guy, but I don't want to be subjected to that. I mean, like I say, I'm a pretty decent guy, but I don't want to be subjected to that. I mean, like I say, I'm a pretty decent guy, but I don't want to be subjected to that. I mean, like I say, I'm a pretty decent guy, but like everybody else, I'm not squeaky clean. I probably have got some things that people go, well, I wouldn't have done that, So, you know, and that's the way I guess all of us are in some way. I mean, I've never been arrested and been, uh, you know, done in like, I've never had a DUI, and I've never, of course, I don't drink, and I've never shot anybody because I don't have, well, I got a shotgun, but I don't shoot people, and I've never done anything criminal like that. But you never know what people would want to uh, insinuate that you've done, and everybody is got people that don't like them, and I don't care who you are. I mean, they'll somebody will dis me and a buddy of mine, Malcolm, were talking about that the other day. He's a city councilman, and I was talking about him, and he was talking about running, and he has to get in a small way this kind of situation, and he was talking about his reelection coming up, and I said, well, Malcolm, don't worry about it. I said, there's certain people that are never going to like you. I don't care what you do. Uh, you can be an angel out there, and people will hate you for being an angel. Uh, you know, People are going to find a reason not to like somebody. I mean, just think back about it. I mean, there's always somebody out there that will dislike you for some reason. I mean, you may have done nothing toward them, against them, or whatever, but they're going to maybe dislike you because maybe you've got a better car than they've got. They're going to dislike you because you got a better car than they've got, or maybe you got a better house than they've got. Uh, Maybe you date a prettier girl. If you got a girlfriend that's prettier than their girlfriend, there's millions of different things that people are jealous and dislike people for. And so I guess we're never going to please. What is Abraham Lincoln said? You can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all of the time. And that's very true. Yeah, there's always some people that shouldn't be in public, and I have no desire to ever be a public figure. Uh, I have no desire to, other than what I'm doing right now. Right now, I guess I'm putting myself out to the public, but I have no desire to be a public official. I wouldn't want to be a city councilman, a mayor, uh, you know, a governor or school board or anything. That I do not desire. Now, I may give my opinion about what somebody should do if they're on there, but I'm not going to be that person. I just don't want to. I don't want to be that person. Yeah. Well, now Jamie is a perfect example. Jamie, now you're what, on the city council in your area? It's yeah, I know it. It is. It's filthy, rotten, and extremely dirty. I mean, that's about as good as you say it. That's about as. I'm trying to read what Walter was saying. Yeah, I mean, and we get in that with our local politics, and we got right now. I've been involved. We got a building that's one of our last good historic buildings in our town. That was the original. Well, it wasn't the original. It was the first big city hall that was built in our town. It was built in 1911, and we've got it as the museum right now. and it itself is a great building. I mean, it used to house the fire department. It was a city hall. It was a police department, and all that in one building, 3-story building. And it has heritage right there, and it's got some neat things about it. But we got a guy now wanting to buy that and turn it into a restaurant, and we got that in sort of uproar in our little local town. But it is what it is. It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation out there, but that's local politics for you. That's for sure. That's local politics. I mean, they uh, they can be crazy. So you got 8 years. Wow. Yeah, that's my buddy Malcolm. He's been uh, he's been on the city council about 12 years, I think, 10 or 12 years. They they run every 4 years for city council. They alternated two, and there's only two at a time that are reelected. So it's every 2 years you're voting on two different ones. I mean, we got four city councilmen, but only two come up at any one time. So there's never a complete wipeout of the city council. You're going to have overlapping city councilmen at any time. Of course, our mayor is he is up for reelection every 2 years. So he's like a congressman. Every 2 years, he has to be reelected. So that's a little bit tougher one. But we'll see what we see on that, and that's the way it goes. Well, guys, my voice is about to lose me. I've been on here a little bit more than an hour, or I'm about to lose my voice. It's not losing me, but I'm gonna call it a day. I've enjoyed it. Topics all over the place: politics, weather, all kind of stuff. Hope we enjoyed it this morning. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna see you another day. Maybe I'll get some more videos out. Every once in a while I'll pop a new video out. So if you see one, click on it. Tell your friends about it, and I'll catch you later. See you guys.